The Neo Reality Entertainment brand expands with a relaunch of the Neo Reality Collective Pop Culture News Talk. Your host, Eric Brown, gives his insights and thoughts in the ever-expanding news world of comic books, professional wrestling, gaming, TV, and movies. Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniverse.
Today's edition of Neo Reality Collective is brought to you by Anchor.fm, a free distribution service podcasting hosting platform that allows you to record your podcast on your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and so much more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor.fm app or go to Anchor.fm to get started today. Thank you and enjoy the episode. Welcome everyone to Neo Reality Collective episode 15. I'm your host Eric Brown, and today we're talking about more pop culture news, and we're starting off with wrestling. We got a total of 38 articles to talk about because there were plenty of stuff that happened apparently on Thursday and Friday. Oh god, wow, I'm gonna be busy. So anyways, let's get into this. Impact Wrestling is making a play for Buddy Murphy. The no complete clauses of recently released superstars are starting to expire, though, like I mentioned to some people on Twitter and on my ATW group chat, Buddy Murphy's expires in August, late in August, so he could theoretically show up on September 1st as Dynamite, right? And in theory show up on Impact on September 2nd. So, the no-compete clauses are recently expiring. Malachi Black appeared on Dynamite to kick Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes' heads into the fifth row, while Chesley Green appeared on ROH and served into the women's title tournament. So, okay, so let's get real on that. Malachi Black, yeah, I talk about this on my other developing podcast projects I'm working on. So, yeah, that's kind of a thing. Chelsea Green, however, was someone who managed to ask for her conditions to be realized so she could leave. The reason why that is probably because, this is my thoughts, is that because WWE, she kept getting injured, so it wasn't really much of a run in WWE, so they were like, okay, you can go, because let's be real, there was nothing for her afterwards. Like, the second she got injured the second time, it was done. I feel like it was done, and WWE realized, yeah, we can't do this. It's not working out. Like, they stuck by her with her injury, and he helped her heal up, so at least there's some decency left in the world in that company. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, they made the right decision letting Chelsea Green let her contract go when she healed up. But yeah, she's now in ROH TV. No idea if she's showing up on Impact. We'll see on this coming Slammiversary on Saturday night. But it's going to be a fun ride for everybody since Matt Cardona is in need of a tag partner for his mixed tag team match. So Meltzer reportedly said, don't know anything regarding AEW, but do know Impact is making a major play for the former Buddy Murphy. So, would I like to see Buddy Murphy in AEW? Yes. But we know AEW can't buy everybody up because that was our complaint for WWE. So I would love I would be alright if Buddy Murphy went to Impact or NWA or Japan. I honestly am rooting for him to go to Japan. And plus he can show up on AEW on a later date because he's part of that society of alliances, which is awesome. So the wrestling agreements, the Forbidden Door saga, can be explored more on that, but yeah, it is kind of fun. I would like to see Buddy Murphy show up other promotions before he goes to AEW, before he's officially committed to being All Elite. I would love him to have a run in Japan for a little bit. My god, there's just so much stuff he can do in the wrestling business now. He's a top player. He is everything you would want in a top player. And he had a series of great matches with Aleister Black during their trilogy, which ultimately went nowhere because when you think about it, Aleister Black beat him all 3 times, yet Buddy Murphy was the one that got the big push. And then Aleister Black was sent to the side, and then Buddy Murphy was sent to the side. And then you're all wondering what the heck was even the point of that. Oh man, that's just so mad. Man. So we've been hearing talks that The Rock wants to fight Roman Reigns. We're all for it. I'm all for it. I want to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Hollywood probably doesn't. Because WrestleMania 29, The Rock had his last match against John Cena, and he had suffered a sustaining injury that delayed several movie projects, and Hollywood had a huge investment with The Rock, so insurance policy-wise, that would cost a steep price. So there are concessions to be made, Dave Meltzer reportedly said, so take it with a grain of salt with him. Concessions are apparently made that if The Rock cannot compete in a singles match at WrestleMania, he will instead be put in a tag match with one of the Usos against Reigns and the other Uso in a tag team match. I'm kind of not for that. Not because we got just resolved the Uso stuff with Roman, and I would like it if he moved on to something else. But yeah, I get the tag aspect. I would honestly kind of like it more if I know this might be pushing it, but I would honestly like him to have The Rock and Cena tag team against Roman Reigns and the Usos 2-on-3, and be like The Rock and Sock versus Evolution, the Rock C Nation taking on the Bloodline. And, Rock can be pinned by Roman and we can end it there. It's still a big match if they do that, and plus the Usos get to main event WrestleMania. But yeah, their perfect dream is to get Roman versus Rock, and the backup plans are just in case Hollywood says we don't want to do this match unless you take full precautions. And by that, we mean limit The Rock's wrestling stuff. Because he's getting up there, he's up there in age, so he could get injured if it happens. Though, with wrestlers nowadays becoming more and more active in their age, like Sting still wrestles a little bit. He still takes bumps in his 60s. We got Ricky Morton doing suicide dives in Panama Sunrise. Oh, God. Yeah, that's the thing. The Rockers, I think their names was, the Rock and Roll Express, and they're still active pretty much, and they're doing big matches from time to time, and doing stuff that you probably are thinking, how the hell is this guy doing it when he's like nearing his 70s and he's moving like a cruiserweight? So, yeah. So, and plus technology's really advanced, come a long way with medical stuff. So, I get Hollywood's concerns, even though I don't support the Hollywood conglomerate, but it's understandable why they would be concerned that their highest paid actor in the world and one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, who is also in a Black Adam movie, has to say, yeah, we probably don't want to have him wrestle. Meanwhile, we had the Tegan Nox and Sochi Blackheart call up, including Toni Storm being called up for this coming next Friday of SmackDown. Yeah, it was reportedly said, according to Dave Meltzer, like I said, take that with a grain of salt. He says that those calls were a last-second call, all for a reason, saying that Vince McMahon's MO, he made the motivation, he made the thing, saying that Vince McMahon reportedly looked at the advanced ticket sales, didn't like the low sales they're making, and yeah, basically they were like, we need fresh faces. And I'm thinking, okay, can you give me a better product? I mean, that is the reason why your tickets are stagnant. Like, you could have the damnest greatest roster in the history of wrestling, which you do, by the way, but if you don't have the writing, the quality content, it's worthless. Why is this so hard for Vince to accept that? I know he doesn't want to admit that, but WWE is suffering from creative issues, not from a roster issue. This is the best the roster's ever been in their days, and yeah, they're still not getting it. Sad. Anyways, Bayley got her surgery for a torn ACL injury. She just got her surgery, and she went on Twitter and proclaimed, "Can't wait to miss the first show in front of fans again. I blame you for this. Thanks a lot." Bayley, you like to make us mad. Yeah. So Bailey's blaming us for the injury. I'm like, we know it's her being a heel and everything, and definitely not someone who would actually be a crybaby and say that we're just a bunch of jealous haters because they're dating someone else. Ain't that right, Colby Lopez? But I get. Congrats to Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's marriage. Came out of left field, in all honesty. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't gonna happen. I'm like, they have a kid now, but yeah. But there is good news for employees of WWE. Still bad. It still sucks for the independent contractors, though. But the WWE employees have reportedly been told that the company will be reinstating pay raises and promotions for a significant portion of the workforce in line for a raise in the coming weeks. PW Insider was reporting that WWE held an all-hands-on-deck meeting with the employees on Thursday ahead of the company going back on the road, and finally welcoming back to the shows. The meeting was immensely positive, as one staff were told that WWE would be bringing back pay raises and promotions. The positive comes after Final Select reported in mid-February that WWE told staff in a meeting that the company would not be providing promotions, pay raises, or bonuses. It was noted that the edict was only for employees and did not cover talent or wrestlers. However, they have made the move to reverse that course, with the PW's insider report saying the implication for that meeting was that a big part of the workforce would be receiving a pay increase in the coming days and weeks. Employees returned to office working earlier in July, ahead of the company's return to live touring. Yay! Yay, they're getting paid again! Yay! Let's hope it actually works out well, and not ultimately shove us up in the ass again. Oh god. Also, you all remember that dream match we wanted? Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley? We're not getting it. Oh man. Why do they do this to us, man? Why does WWE hate him and hate us? I mean, like, it's clearly obvious they have a hatred for the fans, despite the amount of money we give them, even when they stab us in the back multiple times. And you're just trying to wonder how this works. So, apparently there was a discussion to have Lashley and Lesnar meet, which is sadly not going to happen. So, yeah. Guess who they are going to have? Goldberg, 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 Goldberg. Yeah, they're gonna do Goldberg versus Lashley, apparently, it seems. Oh god, there's so much wrong with that. So, yeah. Goldberg is set to fight Lashley. He's set to return to Monday Night Raw this coming after Money in the Bank. The decision was made not to go with Lashley versus Lesnar, the match they promised Lashley like several years ago, and they said, you'll get it by SummerSlam. We're changing our minds. It's Roman versus Lashley. It's Roman versus Lesnar. Okay, we'll promise you again next year. Not doing it next year. Not doing it next year. We're giving it to Drew McIntyre next year. You're finally gonna do it. Yeah! We're not doing it. What? At this point, he should just walk. If he has to take the belt and just dump it in the trash at this point, just do it. I mean, how many times has WWE said, we'll give you a solid, man. We'll do you a solid. We'll give you Lesnar versus Lashley, the match you've wanted for a long time, and they don't do it. They're instead saying that, and like, here's the thing. I would have been alright with this if they said we'll promise it for WrestleMania, and they will swear it by blood if they did that, which they're probably not going to do, but still. But we know that's not going to happen. They can't have a bigger match than Roman versus Rock. So, they're not going to do Lashley versus Lesnar at WrestleMania. They're probably not even going to do it at all at this point. Lashley and Lesnar are in their mid-40s, mid to late 40s, and they can't do this forever. Lesnar looks royally old because quarantine finally got to him. Like, he has a massive amount of hair and beard, and you're just like, oh, quarantine has not been kind to you, man. On your farm. But yeah, apparently the reasoning was, once again, we gotta protect him for Roman's time. Because apparently they did not want Lesnar to lose to Lashley because they think, for some miraculously unexplained reason, that it will probably not sit well with those in Roman Reigns' camp and think that it will destroy Lesnar's credibility. Yeah, because listening to a badass was apparently bad for business. Okay, why is Lashley beating Lesnar a problem? Lesnar's last match, he lost to Drew. Why not lose to Lashley? Then go away for a while, fight at Royal Rumble against Roman, then we could do Rock versus Roman, and there, everybody wins. Why not do that? Is that asking too much? Yeah, I think that's asking too much from Vince. So this is once again the whole, let's put all our eggs in one basket. Roman must be sacred, even when we try to erase him when he walked out on us because he had balls to tell us no, when I'm not doing the show because the COVID's running rampant and you're not taking it seriously, damn it. Yeah. But so Roman Reigns is once again in that state where everyone loves him, but then management starts to say, we gotta screw him over a little bit by protecting him too much. Everything must revolve around Roman, even if Roman says don't do it. Because Vince can't say without having a happy Roman Reigns day. But, yeah. So there was going to be a big UK title match for WWE NXT UK with Ilja Dragunov. If I butchered that, I'm sorry, man. You had an awesome match with him. Walter has sustained an injury. No! You bastards! You put me in the best position in my life! Why? Why did we have to not be given this match? I like for Vince, it's probably the best moment in his life because now he can find an excuse not to do it yet. So, yeah, the injury is indeed legitimate. There was reports that he had suffered a hand injury and there's no worry how long he'll maybe be out. But the match has not been delayed and they're not stripping him of the title, which honestly I understand at this point because he's over 600 days and therefore if they do that, it will be very lackluster. I mean, I still kind of wish during his reign as champ he should have gotten where he tied up with Pete Dunne and then they do a match with Pete Dunne with him in order for Dunne to protect his title as the #1 champ of the modern era, the longest reign of the modern era, and then he loses and then Walter retains and goes over and gets and overpasses Pete Dunne, Lesnar, and CM Punk. That would have been awesome if they did that. You couldn't make that a pay-per-view for TakeOver at NXT UK. Sadly, it happened during the COVID scuff, so we can't do that. Too late now, but yeah, Walter did in fact suffer an injury, and it sucks. He's going to be out. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but there is a picture of him wearing a brace around his hand, so yeah. There's also a big spoilers coming out. Becky Lynch is reportedly scheduled to return at this coming Money in the Bank. She's not going to be part of the Money in the Bank because why do not do a surprise appearance and match? No. They're just going to have her show up and then do something to build her up. But yeah, Becky Lynch is coming back. The reason why I'm saying she's not in the women's Money in the Bank match is because it's going to go to Tamina. I gotta be real, I hear my expectations set low, especially when they teased Sonya and Becky, and I was like, okay, you're gonna screw it up somehow. And then you went with Tamina, I was like, wow, all due respect to Tamina, but I had my expectations low, and somehow you're underperforming even worse than I imagined. I mean, it's not even the fact that they did it on TV. I would have just been okay with that. No, they just said, we'll put it out on our tweet. That would be suitable enough, right? I mean, They can't even bother to just make a story on TV for it. They just, here's a tweet. Like one of my friends from ATW, who's currently doing some awesome stuff lately on her wrestling blog job and her training and whatnot. I won't go into details because that's her business. But she didn't know. She didn't know that Tamina was in the bank because they just announced it on Twitter. And then they were like, oh, you didn't look on Twitter? You should have known that by now, you dumplings. Because that's how Vince sees us. Not everyone goes, that's social media. I know, it's a foreign concept. I know, it's a foreign imagination to imagine there's now one person on the entire planet that has not gone on social media before. But it exists. And there's also politicians that like to say they go on social media, even though some of them have said they never used the internet, yet want to pass internet laws for something they've never experienced. But that's just me. And various articles where they publicly admitted to that during the SOPA stuff. Oh. Anyways. NXT UK is going to be having issues. They're going to be taped. They will be switched around for 2 weeks, and they will be taped due to the Olympics. Damn you, Olympics. Okay. So it sucks for them. And there's rumors even going around they're going to move on to the Sci-Fi Channel for the first time. And yeah, that the NXT will be on the Sci-Fi Channel for the first time since the original NXT days, so they're back to where they all began for 2 weeks due to the Olympics event. Still hoping Okada takes the torch and says, "I declare these Olympics in the COVID era to be open," and slams the torch down with the Rainmaker, and then does his Rainmaker pose like, yeah, and whatnot. Like he's done. I gotta be honest, Okada is done after this. How can you top that? You thought you were the big champ in New Japan, now you're not, and then you got told you're gonna carry the torch to the Olympics. You just transcended to godhood. Like, what's left, man? What is left for you to do? Do you see that there is now nowhere else you could go from here? And realize you have no more worlds to conquer. Man, it's just hilarious when I think about it, but yeah. Meanwhile, as NXT goes ahead and moves on to do Sci-Fi Channel, Sci-Fi Channel, or the Sharknado channel, also known as the channel that did a very awesome show and then canceled it after 2 seasons, and then Amazon picked it up, so good luck on that. WWE, in their NXT division, of course, traded Mandy Rose and Alea between Raw and NXT. Well, that was random. Yeah, Randy Rose made a weird appearance on NXT and looks set to make it her new home on the Black and Gold brand. And she was teaming with Dana Brooke just a few weeks ago. But yeah, they moved her to NXT because apparently this was a trade between Raw and NXT with no explanation what given on TV. They just say, oh, there she is. So Leia is now on Raw, and yeah. The NXT talent they had spoken to said they were surprised to see Rose on Tuesday's show, so no one told them. Yeah, that sounds right? They don't tell anybody anything. Because you gotta work the workers, even though there's no reason to work them. So, the Batman, the upcoming epic for next year. So, the character who plays the Penguin, Colin Farrell, revealed that in the director's upcoming Matt Reeves' upcoming comic book movie, The Batman, and says that while he is in the movie, The Penguin, he confirmed on Happy Sad Confused podcast that he is in the movie for 5 or 6 scenes, amounting to about 9 minutes of screen time. What? He says this, I'm only in it for 5 or 6 scenes, so I can't wait to see the film because it won't be ruined by my presence. Really, it's a freebie to me. I'll get a little bit uncomfortable for the 9 minutes I have, and then the rest of it, I cannot wait to see how Reeves brought this world to life. Like, I don't even watch my YouTube videos, like my YouTubes or podcasts, because I get uncomfortable just hearing myself or looking at myself, because it's just weird. It just makes me feel self-conscious. So yeah, I definitely understand, man. But yeah, he's only in it for 9 minutes, it seems. Like when the trailer dropped, I think people mentioned how they didn't even know that was the Penguin. So I think because they were keeping that secret a little bit until people told them, "Oh, that's the Penguin." Oh, cool. So, yeah, Loki's coming back for season 2. Yay! Hey. And it'll probably make more of a mess for Doctor Strange to clean up in Multiverse of Madness. But director and executive producer Kay Herron will not be returning, saying, "I'm not returning." Saying her departure from the show was always planned and has said it was her idea from the beginning to stay for only one season. "I always planned to just be on for this, and to be honest, season 2 was that's the thing that just came out. I'm so excited. I'm really happy to watch it as a fan for next season. I just think I'm proud of what we did here, and I'm giving it my all. I'm working on some other stuff yet to be announced. This other stuff is not a new Marvel project, it seems, but she said she would jump at the opportunity to work for Marvel again." Okay, so she's not back, but yeah, Loki's coming back. Loki will return, and the sacred timeline is forever destroyed. Meanwhile, Xbox's Phil Spencer hopes the industry will protect old games from extinction. Oh, don't worry. Backwards compatibility is forbidden by Sony and Nintendo to a little extent. But, yeah, good luck with that, Phil Spencer. You just need to find more people who are like you, and then they'll go ahead and do it. But every company conglomerate will be like, "No, we will remaster it, we will remake it, and then put microtransactions into it. We will profit from the nostalgia without backwards compatibility. We are the corporate machine." Corporate America, you just hate it, yet the cause and solution to all of life's problems these days. Saying this, kind of from the Gamecast, he said, "I do worry a little bit about losing our art form and the history of it. When I think about old ROMs and MAME, yeah, that's the thing. And these things where these old games are going to go as the hardware that's capable of running those games, I really wish that as an industry we come together to help preserve the history of what gaming is about, so we don't lose the ability to go back." So, yeah, Sony doesn't like it. They hate it for some reason. I don't know. Spencer believes that major platform stakeholders need to come together and archive older games or risk losing access to the titles that help shape the industry. So, yeah. Yes, and they even admitted that, yeah, they also have that guilt because, the Kinect's no longer a thing, so it'd be harder to make that work. Yeah. But other games, cloud-based gaming could be the ideal solution, he believes, so good luck with it. Also, HBO really can't let go of Game of Thrones. So, apparently there's HBO Max is considering developing 2 additional Game of Thrones animated shows, and has canceled another live-action prequel. Yep. Yeah, yeah, it seems like House of Dragons is the only one that survives, and it tells the story of the Targaryen Civil War. But yeah, it's kind of problematic that most of these prequels they had planned were canceled, and they're trying to make animated projects. But it's just like it. I think I would be more optimistic about it if they had gotten the series finale done right in some people's eyes, considering how everything fell apart for the last season and all the unexpected weird decisions that were made. But yeah. Speaking of, everyone heard of the Steam Deck, this new handheld portable PC basically that will be costing $400, and yeah, a lot of people have said that there's a lot of potential with this, but Steam Deck currently can't run Apex Legends, PUBG, or several other big games by default. Yeah. So according to PC Gamer, ProtonDB, games such as Destiny 2, Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege, PUBG won't be compatible with the pre-installed SteamOS due to an anti-cheat software not activating the Linux-based operating software, and this leaving players locked out of multiplayer servers. There's damn you ambition! So yeah, like it does sound interesting, but I don't know if I would be interested in getting it myself, but yeah, Microsoft says they're always excited about things like Steam Deck, but no Game Pass commitment is made yet. Yeah, they already have their own cloud-based system, and we just need to get a simple controller for our iPhones, and then we can be done with that. So yeah. So a cheat maker for auto-aiming cheats have halted development on an undetectable aimbot as at Activision's request. What they think was going to happen? Like they say how their intent was never to do anything illegal, but isn't that cheating in the game? Like they try and say this. Like I'm not an expert on software development, but like this is what they said. This type of technology has actual assistive benefits. For example, by pointing a webcam at yourself, you can control movement without the use of limbs. Unfortunately, because of its potential negative impact, I will not be developing further. They kept promoting it as undetectable and unstoppable, and yeah, I understand, like, if that is the reasoning, he wanted to have something positive out of it, but at the same time, you know, this is the gaming industry, and you know how cutthroat players can be, so they'll exploit it for all they can. Until Activision finds an eventual patch for it, and then they fix it or go after the guy. So the season to desist was probably the best case scenario for him. So Borderlands movie. Yeah, Randy Pitchford, because he has to overhype it potentially, saying that Borderlands movie could end with a tease for Handsome Jack. They don't. Look, I get it. Borderlands is a very popular series of video games, but how about we just stick to making one good movie before we start setting out teasing multiple sequels in it? Can we do that, or is that asking too much Hollywood? I mean, this is the thing for like Cinematic Universe's mistakes. Like when they did the Dark Universe and they teased all this stuff for the future movies. By the way, how is that universe doing? Yeah, no one remembers it, do they? Yeah, it's just annoying. It really is annoying that Hollywood still doesn't seem to get this whole thing, that they have to focus on making one good movie and then they can focus on making sequels. Like Iron Man told one coherent story, then they got a little greedy, and then they start making more movies set in the universe. But yeah, just because it's a popularity doesn't mean it's guaranteed for success. I mean, remember Dead Space? That was a popular series, then EA ruined it by overhyping it and turning it into a multimedia franchise instead of just being one contained series. One self-contained series or trilogy of games instead of being whatever they did with it. So, yeah, bad stuff all around on that. Anyways, everyone, we're going to take a brief break, everybody. We'll be back after these messages. Everyone, take care. We're back, everyone, with Neo Reality Collective. Let's get back into things. Suicide Squad James Gunn's director says Margaret Robbie is the greatest actor he's ever worked with, saying, I came to Margaret and we talked about the script after she read it, and when we said something about Harley, she was like, yeah, but you know more about her than I do, because I read every single comic book about Harley Quinn has ever been in, so that must have taken a long time. I watched every anime movie she's been in, so she has no ego, and it's one of the reasons why she's probably the greatest actor I ever worked with. Not because she says I know more than she does, but because she just comes out into it in such a way that she's willing to go as far as she possibly can with the character. And she's incredibly prepared, incredibly disciplined, able to do the action stuff, and able to do the comedy, able to do drama, and she's a incredibly rounded actor. So Gunn pointed out that the comic book characters he often adapts for a movie, including the Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy, tend to be thinner on the page than typical A-list superheroes and villains. Saying that usually when I'm writing most of the characters I've written, I'm sort of recreating them for the screen. It's probably one of the reasons why I'm attracted to characters who have been in a few comic books, or characters like Star who've never really been well-defined personality. I mean, Bloodsport, for example, isn't especially well-drawn or well-known. Yeah, I didn't know who Bloodsport was until this happened. Like, I kept hearing someone named Bloodsport, but like, yeah. But yeah, Harley Quinn, he goes in and talks about more about the Harley Quinn character and how he likes Robbie. But yeah, I'm excited for the Suicide Squad movie, but we're gonna have to see how that turns out when it comes out in HBO Max and theaters. I will hopefully plan a bonus episode for that down the road. Anyways, Indiana Jones 5 has Antonio Banderas, as has been named Harrison Ford's newest co-star in the movie, which is still doesn't yet have a title. Force reported by Deadline, though it has been revealed which character he will be playing in this and how heavily featured he will be in this movie. Pretty much everything in the film is under wraps, and it recently began filming in the UK. That includes the Fleabag creator Philip Waller-Bridge and Hannibal actor Matt Mikkelsen, along with some other stuff, and Ford reportedly injuring his shoulder while rehearsing a fight scene for Indiana Jones 5, though it was not expected to affect production in any significant manner, with failing to shift course around the actor while the treatment was evaluated. So yeah, it's gonna come out on July 29, 2022, so we're not even a year out. So yeah, I don't know much about this actor, so yeah, it's gonna be, and I'm wondering if Shia LaBeouf will show up in this. I don't know, but like, yeah, it's being directed by the guy who made Logan, so that's gotta say for something. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting since Steven Spielberg dropped out of the movie, making Indiana Jones join the first entry of the series he's not directed by him. So yeah. Meanwhile, Space Jam's director wants Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for the third movie, and a third potential movie. Okay, I can get LeBron, I can get Michael Jordan because they're basketball players. The Rock is not a basketball player. I'm like, are they implying that this is going to have wrestling in it? Space Jam's going to turn into a wrestling movie? I'm like, that would be kind of awesome, but yeah. He's currently working on Black Adam, so yeah. Yeah, it came out today at the time this podcast is recording, but yeah, it's not getting good reviews, so you might need to lower your expectations a bit. Though The Rock wasn't too fairy, but that was when he was doing it, when he was really starting to explode on the scene yet. Yeah, he was in Doom as well. Meanwhile, God of War. Christopher Judge is going to star as Black Panther in the Marvel Avengers game. He will voice King T'Challa for War for Wakanda, which is coming in August. He voiced Kratos, the star of the series, and said that he initially turned down the role because he didn't think he could do it justice. Judge feels that the late Chadwick Boseman's performance in 2018 and forever defined the role for an entire generation, meaning that there's no way he can measure up. Understandable. However, discussing the role of his children and his mother, he decided to take it, joking that they would disown him if he didn't agree to portray King T'Challa. Narrative lead and narrative consultants Hannah McLeod and Evan McNiss both emphasized that this is a very different take on the character than the fans saw in the acclaimed 2018 film. There, T'Challa had just donned the mantle in War of Wakanda. He's worn the mask for quite a while already. Judge said that the role presented new challenges for him, as he was gently coerced into adopting a higher-pitched voice for the role than his usual deep tones. He also worked with dialogue coach to develop his Wakandan accent for the game. It will be a new single player, and Yeah, no idea how long this single player is going to be big. Some say it's more than 25 hours. Others are saying that it might be actually a little bit shorter, but still, I think they mean like overall completion of it, like not just the story, but all the mini stuff. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Fallout 76 developer Bethesda is teasing new significant feature in September update. I don't care. I really don't care anymore. I'm just not interested in Fallout 76. It's just been one disaster after another. Like, I've heard they've improved, but it's like all that stuff, like first impressions are important, man. And while you could make the argument there are games that manage to do terrible first impressions, like No Man's Sky, but prove themselves they can hang, Fallout 76 just progressively got worse and worse in that 1 year in 2019, and you're just amazed that happened and how that was physically possible. Man. Oh god, it's so funny when you think about it. Anyways, The Last of Us. Is adding Jeffrey Pierce and Miri Bartlett and Con O'Neill to the cast. The HBO series Last of Us is having that for this show. Deadline was reporting that and are joining the post-apocalyptic war, particularly of note for fans of the original games. James Pierce, who voiced Tommy in the game, will reportedly recur as a different character named Perry, who has only been described as a rebel in a quarantine zone. Bartlett will guest as Frank, while O'Neill will play Bill. Both are survivors living in an isolated town. While writer Craig Menez has said The Last of Us TV show will follow the story of the original game. So, yeah, and also, you know, focus on expanding certain stuff. Yeah. So, we're gonna have to see how that turns out. But I don't know if I'm gonna watch it though. I don't know if I'd be interested in it. Like, I like The Last of Us game. The sequel, I don't want to talk about that. But yeah. Also coming out in August, a closed beta set for August. Gundam Evolution has been announced. A brand new Gundam for PC called Gundam Evolution, a free-to-play 6v6 first-person shooter FPS that looks a lot like Overwatch, it seems. Set for August 8th, 9th, exclusive in Japan closed beta. So, yeah, Gundam Evolution seems to be like a Overwatch clone, but for Japan. Damn you, Japan! Okay. John Wick 4 brings back Ian McShane as Winston. They finalized the deal with Lionsgate to return for the upcoming movie that's being directed by Chad, I'm not pronouncing that last name, saying I couldn't be happier than to welcome Ian McShane back into John Wick Chapter 4. He's not only an amazing actor, but is an indispensable collaborator who has helped define the world of John Wick. Filming has already begun and will continue in France, Germany, Japan. Throughout the summer, Donnie Yen, Samir Anderson, and Arena, I'm not going to try the last name, are also set to star. Featuring new writers Michael Finch and Shay Hanton, making it the first John Wick movie not to include the writer and creator that was on there originally. According to the interview with Collider, Derek wasn't asked to return for the John Wick series, saying, no, it wasn't my decision. When you think of the contractually of things, the third one I shared the credit with any number of people, they didn't have to come back to me, and so they didn't. So they're probably teasing an expanded universe of stuff with other badasses living across the world, since they kept doing how this normal guy becomes a crazy gun shower, basically. But yeah, I'm a little confused by this as well. Meanwhile, remember Clippy? Yeah, they killed that a while back. Microsoft put out a tweet saying, if this gets 20k likes, we'll replace the paperclip emoji of the 365 with a clip with Clippy. Clippy! Clippy! Well, they're at 168k likes. Yeah. Clippy is looking like it's gonna make a comeback as an emoji. Clippy. Okay. Sadly, there will Meanwhile, in sad news, there will be no new Star Wars games at EA Play Live, but news is teased for 2022. Well, it's EA, so I don't care. EA confirmed that they will not be showing any new Star Wars games on July 22nd, and all of us look forward to celebrating with you next year when we share our vision for the galaxy far, far away. Is it a redux of the sequel trilogy, and that means it will be actually good? That will actually be consistently good, and not piss on me and make me mad and make me question why I even invested in this? And it makes me wonder how there's no virtual hope in the Star Wars universe. It's just an endless cycle of war and death through lies and deception of the people. I'm still bummed about the ending. Like, the ending starts where the adventure all started. It was told through deceptive lies. Lies! So, yeah. Meanwhile, Robert Downey Jr. signed on for a new HBO show where he'll play multiple villains. They will play multiple villains. He will play multiple characters from the show, and they're all villains from America. And that includes a congressman, a CIA agent, a Hollywood movie director, and others. Okay, the congressman and the Hollywood movie director I can get. The CIA agent, okay, that's mixed on that, but so... Okay, I'm going political on this. On how the 1% is evil and everything. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Hey, Robert Downey Jr. is off of the retirement of Iron Man, and this movie is now the second biggest global box office in history. It was #1, and then Avatar, James Cameron was like, "No, I will not stand for it. As such, I will release my movie back into theaters for a week, and I will get my spot back. I am not at all petty and vindictive." So, yeah, that was the thing. Warhammer 40k Dark Tide is delayed to 2022. Sorry, everybody, for those who were ready for the grim-dark action cooperative game for Xbox and PC. It's been delayed to spring. Yep. So, yeah, I'm just glad that I'm glad that if there was an issue with it, fine, and they want to invest in more systems for support Dark Side for years to come. So, yeah. So yeah, I'd rather have the game be delayed and be good than be not prepared and be cannibalized by the market. Also, on July 20th, there will be a launching for Los Santos tuners update for GTA Online, all about cars that focuses on underground tuner scene across Los Santos, adding new missions and races in what's known as LS Car Meet, which will include new social gathering where players can get together and show off their whips. Oof, yeah, show up rides. Beach. So they will include a reputation system that lets you unlock new benefits for each level. You can spend $50,000 to become a member of the LS Car Meet to get access to the Prize Ride Challenge. Oh yeah, we're gonna ride in our sweet ride. Oh yeah. I don't care. I don't. I play GTA Online. I don't record it. There's really not much for me to do there, and I mostly nowadays have to help someone on there. So yeah, I just explore for a little bit, go and do the spin the wheel thing, and then move on. So yeah, the Nintendo Switch, the OLED model, apparently only costs $10 more to make. It costs $10 more to make. Apparently, it's weird. I'm not really. My mom was interested in looking into it just to get an understanding of it. But yeah, it only costs $10 more for manufacturing costs, so Yeah. Meanwhile, there's a new FPS documentary called First Person Shooter, the definitive FPS documentary. About the history of first-person shooter games has added a number of big names, such as John Carmack, Brian Upton, and John Cook will be featured. The producers have also announced that the Kickstarter campaign enters its final 10 days. Carmack being the co-founder of id Software, with franchises like Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake. Upton is a veteran for Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon, while Cook is known for his ventures for Team Fortress and the Half-Life series. Damn you, ambition! Raising more than $80,000, which is well above its goal, the campaign wraps on Monday, July 26th, and pledges of £30 or more will get you access to the documentary when it's released. While there are a number of nice perks, like getting your name in the credits, a poster design by Dave Merrill, t-shirts, and more. You can receive various pledge levels. Head to the definitive Kickstarter page to learn more about that. But yeah, this is involved in a documentary talking about the first-person shooter stuff. So are they going to talk about the dark side of it, like how people were blaming it for virtually everything that was wrong with the world, even though there was no evidence to prove that? Probably, but you know. So James Gandalf, if I butcher that, fine, apparently claims that HBO paid him $3 million to not star on The Office. What? So what? So NBC was going to pay him $4 million to play the new boss for a single season, but was instead took a $3 million deal not to do that. Oh man, you're given total $3 million not to take an offer, and you were prepared to play $4 million. Oh man, so you can just sit in your couch with your $3 million and drink your express wine. Okay. And for the final piece of news for today, a YouTuber by the name of Ian Charnas, who focuses on DIY creations like syncing Viper blades to music, and decided to try and harness the power of God, this is so dangerous. He decided to convert a knockoff Gameboy to run on nuclear power. I'm pretty sure that's not going to end well. Apparently, he harnessed the power of nuclear decay to play a video game. You can and should, and then the video is up on YouTube, but in short, it captures the light energy thrown out by the natural decay of deuterium and an isotope of hydrogen using mini solar panels, and then stores the energy in a specialized battery. From there, the batteries are built into a custom board and hooked up to a low energy handheld game to play Tetris. Okay, so they said that all proceeds will be going to benefit a charity helping support children living near the affected zone of the Chernobyl nuclear reactor disaster from all those years ago. But oh man. That's just madness. Nuclear decaying energy to power a knockoff Game Boy console handheld to play Tetris. I'm done. I'm out. Not everyone. I'm out. This is it. We're done. The world's done. We finally harnessed nuclear decay for Game Boy Tetris knockoffs. This is going to a good cause, but oh god, that's probably gonna be bad. down the road if you didn't take if the proper precautions were taken. Oh, just, wow. Well, that's it, everyone. The Reality Collective ends on a strange note. Decay of nuclear energy to use to power handheld devices to play Tetris. We're out, everyone. Take care. Have a nice day.
Be sure to donate to the brand and keep up to date with additional content on YouTube channels such as Neo Reality Entertainment, NRE The Wrestleverse, and NRE Pop Culture Omniverse.